All right, people, let's move out. Raiders, I want a full sweep. Kilo protocol.
With just a couple of weeks until we all get on the bus to Helgen for another round of intergalactic war and shouting, we took a trip to Killzone 3 developer Guerrilla for one last look at the game before we crack out the review hammer. There we had the chance to speak to game director Mathijs de Jonge, who told us that the big thing the team wanted to achieve with the game was to up the variety scene in Killzone 2.
Looking back at the feedback we got from gamers and from the press, in Killzone 2 there's stuff missing, like a lot of variety in the single player campaign. Some people said like there's a lack of co-op. I would really love to play this game in co-op. There were also some problems with the controls, as everybody knows. So those were like key points that we decided to focus on at an early point, and especially variety. We focused on many things like the enemy types, weapons, environments, gameplay experiences throughout the campaign. The challenges that we had, well, as always, was definitely time. We had to develop this game in less time with less people than any of our previous games, especially Killzone 2, because that was quite a big team and took us quite some years to finish. That made the project really challenging because we had less time and less people, but the game was much bigger than anything we've done before. You work double weeks basically. Most of the people in the company haven't ever done so much overtime.
Just let it go, man.
But that's not just because the schedules demand that. It's also because just people want to polish it, basically make the game really good.
Past the grimy generation-leading graphics, one of the most visually remarkable things about the third Killzone game is its use of 3D. Speaking as tri-dimensional skeptics, even we thought it was outstanding, head and shoulders above the other examples we've seen so far. What makes it so good?
I think with our 3D implementation, that's the same as with all the other features in the game. As when we want to do something like that, we want to do it really well, and we want to basically be the best in doing this. So our ambition is always basically through the roof.
You have your orders, Sergeant. This is not a discussion.
Our technical people are really skilled, and we started work on 3D quite early on this project as well, so it has been in development for quite a time, and because it's a first-person shooter, 3D seems to work much better than third person, because you can get really close to objects, and the closer you can get your camera to an object, the better the 3D effect works. What is quite funny is also to see people play 3D, that they actually start staring at stupid objects that are in the world that are not interesting at all, but because it's 3D, it's suddenly they become interesting and they have like an additional layer of information in them.
With the likes of Mass Effect 2 and Dead Space 2 also hitting PS3 in recent weeks, sci-fi is enjoying quite the hot streak. What does it offer creatively as a genre?
I think sci-fi is interesting, and especially the mix that we have in Killzone 3, where it's like a certain level of realism, and then we throw in some sci-fi as well. Because it's different than what we see daily on TV, and there's a lot of shooters that use the Second World War setting, or First World War, Vietnam. I think people are getting a little bit bored by those settings, and they want to have new experience. They want to see new enemies, new worlds. They want to travel basically, but maybe not too far, and not too weird, and not too alien. So I think with Killzone we really try to appeal to sort of something in the middle, where it doesn't feel like it's completely like a fantasy world, and it still feels like it could be you playing there, fighting there basically.